Hey everyone, this is Tom with the Green Dot Group. I'm so excited to be sharing with you another video on the various topics within the design thinking process. Today we're going to be talking about journey mapping. I'm so excited to jump in and share with you the many details of this very powerful and visual tool that really helps to bring the customer's experience to life. But before I dive into the details, I want to first talk about what is a journey map. A journey map is really just a visual illustration of the customer's experience and how they interact with your organization in order to achieve a certain objective or goal. So let's talk about maybe why an organization would like to journey map. So I have a background in Lean and Six Sigma, and process mapping is an essential part of applying that toolbox to help solve problems. And as organizations map out their processes, whether it's in a flowchart or a swim lane, I get that these are nerdy terms, they're really documenting the process steps that the operators are doing in order to deliver the product or service to the customer. It's a very inside out look at how the work gets done. Journey mapping reverses that, and it's looking at your organization's processes from the outside in. And there's a major benefit to doing that as an organization because it allows you to walk in the shoes of your customers and begin to see the work that you do from their perspectives. And that can really help highlight some opportunities for improvement that maybe you wouldn't have seen if you were just mapping your processes from an internal perspective. Now that we've talked about why an organization might want to do journey mapping, I want to talk in a little bit greater detail about how to do journey mapping. This is something that could take many videos and lots of time to explain because there's a lot of range in how a journey map can be created. I'm really just going to focus on the basics of journey mapping, although there are people out there who have dedicated their entire career as a designer to doing nothing but creating very artistic, stylized, and highly effective journey maps. We don't have time for that. We're going to keep it basic and hopefully give you some of the information you need to get started. And then if you're so passionate about this tool, you can grow your skills and challenge yourself to create more advanced and more complex maps later on. So starting with the basics, I don't care what template's being used. There are typically 4 components that are present on every single map. The very first component is the who. Really, who are we? Whose experience are we mapping? And if you recall within the design process, they go out, they get customer input and feedback and really try to understand the customer's experience through conversation. So that's oftentimes treated as data, and that data gets synthesized and analyzed and oftentimes is converted into a semi-fictitious character called a persona. In most cases, the persona is the main character of the journey map. So that's the first component of a journey map is the who, and within design thinking, that's often the persona. The next thing within a journey map are the stages or the high level activities or maybe even the customer's life cycle that persona goes through when interacting with your organization. So you'll see on the maps, this is oftentimes referred to as stages, and they tend to start with the customer's initial awareness and go all the way through their experience to the point of them achieving their goal, so post-purchase or post-service, maybe even to advocacy, or if the experience was negative, maybe there's a detractor type activity that occurs as well. But the second component of most maps is going to be the stages that the customer flows through. The next component of a journey map is a little bit more evolved. It kind of double clicks on the stages and looks more specifically at what are the actions that the customer is doing, what are the touch points, which are the things that the customer is interacting with, and what is the experience that the customer is having. There's a lot of information within this third component. When you're thinking about the actions, again, try to think of a bullet point checklist of the things that the customer is doing. Touch points are the assets, the tangible things that the customer's interacting with. And that could be a representative of your organization, or maybe a piece of technology such as your website or an application on the phone. But it may also include conversations that they're having with their peer group. So touch points are multifaceted and they're really helpful to understand in the mapping experience. And the last component within this big bucket of number 3 here is, what are they feeling? And this gets to the emotions of what that experience is. And what you'll tend to see on a map is it's kind of almost like a heartbeat like mapping of their experience on a Likert scale. So as this wavelength moves through the journey map, as it's up at the top, they're having a positive experience. And you oftentimes see like a little smiley face at the peak of this flow. If they're having a neutral experience, that line then hovers around the middle. And then if they're having a negative experience, it's down towards the bottom, oftentimes indicated with a sad or unpleasant icon to indicate that the experience has become sour. So a lot of things go into the third component of a journey map. It's really the core of the map, and it really helps to bring the experience to life. And a lot of information is shared within that section. Now, we collected all this information and we're telling this story, and we spent time and energy creating a map that helps to visualize those things. And we need to do something with all that information. And that's the fourth and final component of most maps, which is a dedicated section for the team to use to list out their observations and the insights that they've been able to have as a result of reviewing the map. All of this information, again, is meant to inform the team and help them connect more closely to what the customer's experience has been. And then from that position and putting themselves in that shoes and seeing the world the way that the customer does, now they're in a better mindset to be able to create and solve problems on the customer's team.